Morning. How is everybody doing on this fabulous Wednesday? Very excited to be here. I want to welcome you to Mindset Minutes, where my mission is to help people close the gap on fear and their limiting beliefs, really, truly, so that they can do that with quick tools and tips for both their life and business that are really relevant in today's fast-paced world. And I'm excited today because I do have a special guest. I'm going to keep you in suspense for just a minute. But she is a recruiting magnet, and I cannot wait for you to meet her and learn from her. For those of you I don't know, my name is Joan Robison. I'm an entrepreneur, a leadership coach, and I'm also the author of Flip the Switch, which is a book that will help you close the gap on fear and limiting beliefs and work in solution. So not only for business, but for your life. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking recruiting. And what I want to do is just take a moment. Everybody loves the Ignite the Light cards. So I've already done a little shuffle, and I'm going to pull a card just to kind of set the tone for our call. Let's see how we can flip the switch today. See what happens, and we'll go ahead and take this card. Well, isn't this interesting? Let go of limiting beliefs. Let go, I just crunched my card, but let go of limiting beliefs. And that's part of, I believe, strengthening our recruiting skills is really letting go of some of those limiting beliefs that hold us back from offering our business opportunity. And we're going to talk, like I said, more about that today. I've also got a name that I've drawn for my favorite things. And some of you that are following me that are in my community, Flip the Switch. And if you're not in the Flip the Switch community, I will go ahead and post that link in the comments so you can join that community and get tips and tools and all kinds of stuff from myself and others that are in that group. So we've got our Ignite the Light, we have our little cosmetic bag, and then a journal. And the winner today is the one and only, and drum roll is Mary Conkle. Mary Conkle, you have won Joan's Favorite Things. So congratulations. My assistant, Jen, my right arm, will be reaching out to you and getting the information of where we can send that to. So very, very excited to have you here today. And I'm going to read this card. Let go of limiting beliefs. When I focus on roadblocks, I stay stuck in the problem. Anybody ever felt that way? I don't know about you, but I know I have. Staying stuck limits my growth and success. My mindset will strengthen when I choose empowering statements like, I can or I will. Today, I will speak to myself with kindness and grace. I will choose to replace limiting beliefs with positive, powerful I am and I will statements. Flip the switch from what I can't do to affirming what I can and what I will do. I can, I will, and I'm enough. So this is a really great card for anybody, but when you're thinking about limiting beliefs that are holding you back, oftentimes we can think and think and think and try and think our way out of it. And guys, it usually never works. So we have to use tools. Many of you know me know that I have my own personal flashcards for certain subjects that bring me into the thought and the feeling that I need right now. I don't wait to feel good to take action. I say, I'm aware of that limiting belief that's holding me back, that's keeping me in fear, and I need to change it by bringing in an I am statement or an I can to the present tense, to actually having it and then feeling that feeling. what is it like to be a recruiting magnet? Actually, interestingly enough, I can't wait for you to meet Lisa Hocker, but I have that as one of my I am statements. I am a recruiting magnet. Say it enough times, there is no way that you will be in a fear-based place. Every single time that you claim victory, that's really what it is, right? We're claiming with I am, with I will. Gosh, I see a lot of people on our live today. So for those of you that are on in my Flip the Switch and out there watching live or even the replay, go ahead and drop in the comments where you're from. Love to follow up with you and just see who we have on here and where you're from. And I am going to bring in Lisa Hocker, and her and I are going to just have a nice little discussion around recruiting. Well, there you are. Look at us in our 50s reader glasses, right? So Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. Gosh, before we get started, can you just tell the group a little bit about your background and just let us get to know you just a little bit?
Good morning, Joan. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me on here. It's a pleasure. I love coming on and chatting with you, whether it's here in your group or on our phones in our jammies. So my name's Lisa Hocker. I live in Orange County, California. I have been in network marketing for a little over 5 years now. Prior to that, I worked as a criminal trial lawyer, first as a prosecutor, and then as a public defender, and then as a private criminal trial lawyer for 21 years. So I have a little spice behind me.
A little spice. That's good. A little sass, little spice. I love it.
I'm married and I have 4 sons. Yep.
Yeah.
And 1 fur baby.
Oh, that's so awesome. 4 boys in the house and they love their mama. Boys sure love their mothers.
I love that.
Oh. Well, Lisa, tell us a little bit about what made you go from, obviously having a demanding career to really finding an interest in a side hustle or whatever it was that drew you in. I think these are really great notes to take, guys, clues, because Lisa had an incredibly successful career and it was very demanding. And obviously, when we prejudge sometimes with recruiting, Lisa might have been a gal that if I would have seen, on the bench, I wouldn't have been in your courtroom. But if I was, or if she was my girlfriend, I might have thought she would have no interest because I would have prejudged and said, she's married. She's got 4 kids that are in their teen years at the time, and she's got this full-time job. She just mentioned she worked multiple hours. Yeah, I'm not going to ask her. She would never be interested. So Lisa, what was it that kind of caught your attention with network marketing?
Yeah, so I think the reason why I joined, well, I know the reason why I joined, not I think, I know.
Yeah.
So my problem was that I was looking for a way out of the courtroom. So I was working full time as a trial attorney when I had all 4 kids, and I had all 4 in a span of a little bit less than 4 years. The last 2 were a set of twins, so that's how that math works.
Yeah.
And I worked all throughout their childhood, all the way through, elementary school, and I had wonderful, amazing nannies that took great care of them. I was not the one that taught any of them how to tie their shoelaces, which is one of those like milestone things that I missed out on, which sounds silly, but it's when those milestones add up that you're missing, like the school play or, the first time that they play in band or whatever that moment is, that milestone moment, the costume parade at school, missing all of that stuff because I'm sitting in a courtroom, taking care of somebody else's life, basically. It made me really sad and like I wasn't a great mom, but when I was home and I wasn't focused on my clients who were sitting in jail, I felt like a bad lawyer, like I wasn't doing good anywhere. I wasn't doing enough. And so it weighed and weighed and weighed on me. Add in the fact that the kids were growing up really quickly. It happens really quickly, even if you stick them in the freezer. There's your kitty.
Yeah,
I did try to stick one in the freezer to get him to stop growing. Joke. But
right.
but it happens really quickly. And so by the time my oldest entered ninth grade in high school, my middle was in middle school, and then the twins were in elementary school. So I'm needing to get to the courtroom by 8:30, 9 o'clock. I've got 3 schools to drop at. I was divorced. Okay. Hello. Crazy making.
Right.
So when I was approached with network marketing, I knew it was a pyramid scheme that would be destined to fail. So I said no. And then one day I just lost it at the grocery store. I was late to pick 2 people up. You know, the client was calling, a judge was calling, my bank account, grocery, the whole thing. I was like, F it, I'm in. What do I have to lose? Nobody's standing behind me. Nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's coming to pay my grocery bill. Nobody's going to go pick up my kid. I came to save me. And so at the time I bought the biggest kit, the what do we call it? The big kahuna.
The big kahuna.
And I put it on my American Express so that when it failed, I could dispute the charge and get my money back. And so I was like, I'm going balls deep. Okay. Sorry for the crass comment, but I'm going to go balls deep for the next 60 days so that when it fails, I can say, I told you so. I'm still here 5+ years later. And it's like, I couldn't be more excited about it. I no longer practice law, and I'm home full time with these kids. And it's good because as they're getting older, it's getting harder, getting more complicated.
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, you shared a lot there, and I think for the listeners out there, no, in a good way, Lisa, but for the listeners out there, a lot of clues. And some of the clues when we're thinking about people that we know or that are close to us, it doesn't mean that they're always fulfilled and happy, even within the busyness of a career. Now, on the flip side, right? There's also people that are thoroughly happy in their jobs and they're looking for an additional stream of income for investments or just extra money for things too. So I don't want anyone to hear that, I don't think there's a lot of scenarios, because there is, but specific to Lisa, I think the majority of us probably would have held back from asking her. And what's really interesting, as I hear you, is your story, even though we had different career backgrounds, is very similar to mine. I loved what I did, but I had this nagging heartache because I had a little 6-year-old at home who, by the way, now is 28 with his own little ones, that I wanted to spend more time with, more quality time. But I still wanted a career and something to call my own. I've kind of often said that I'm one of those people that I love being a mom. It's probably the best job that I've ever had, but I can't be just a mom. I have to have more. That's just my personality. I need more so that when I step away from being the mom, that I have other interests, other joys, other things in my life. But then when I come back to being a mom, right, I'm in a good place. So let me not make this all about me on that score, but very similar, because I think the majority of people may not have asked me either, because I appeared pretty darn good on the outside. But there was that nagging thing, like Lisa. Now, let me ask you this, Lisa. So there you are, and did somebody invite you? How did it come about? Just that actual interaction where you said, yeah, I'm going to put it on the card. How did it come about?
So mine is a really kind of a strange, unusual way of coming about. I have a good friend who has a endermology business. It's a a lipo massage that helps with circulation, lymph node drainage, and cellulite removal
Oh,
management.
we might have to talk offline after this.
And it's kind of like she's kind of also a therapist, and and so I would go and lay on her table for an hour, once or twice a month, and well, more like twice a month, and complain and talk about how I wasn't happy and all of the stressors that I was talking with you guys about. And one day she said she had gotten a new customer client, and this woman, sold skincare, and I should think about joining. And I said, and that's how I got involved. So, like I said, I first said no. I didn't know the woman that I ultimately joined in business.
Right. We're beginning to understand that Maxine, my cat, she loves Zooms. She loves lives. She just comes in for training. It's just kind of funny. Who loves Maxine? Give me a heart out there. Right. It's so funny.
It is, yeah. She loves the camera.
She does. She does. These animals have a mind of their own. All right. Getting back to recruiting. So interesting, though, isn't it? That the person dropped some little bit, I would say just some kind of hints, or this would be something you might want to look at skincare, and it started the ball rolling. So again, guys that are taking notes, these are clues that your curiosity posts, dropping little one-liners that just really offer people an opportunity to think. Okay, I want to just say that in recruiting, one of the biggest mistakes that people make, and I made this in the beginning of my career, for a couple, 2 or 3 months until I went, what the heck is going on? Is we often say too much, right? I mean, we kind of get to going and we tell everybody why we love what we do, or every one of the benefits of the business, and it might just come on a little strong. Or those are the kind of people we tend to run away because it feels like their agenda, versus asking questions, finding out more about the person, which we'll get into in a minute. But Lisa, for right now, I want you to also share what attracted you to the person that you got kind of matched up with, or how did that come about? Did the person there then refer you, or was she the person? I guess I'm trying to understand.
Sure. So the woman, my girlfriend Tamara, who I went to, who I still go to for her services, she is not in network marketing. She referred me to her client who was in network marketing.
Okay.
I said no. That client left a sample for me with Tamara in her office. The next time I came in, I picked it up. She had her phone number in there on a card. I used the product. I texted her. The next day I met her and joined.
Okay. So a little bit different than how we would train, but there's some clues in there too.
Right.
Obviously Tamara believed enough. Tamara knew that you had a need. So this reminds me too of referrals. So think about that. For those of you, again, taking some good notes, are you saying to your good friends, hey, it may not be you, but who do you know that may need extra income, that wants a fun community, that may want to work from home part-time or a little bit of time, maybe all from their phone, these kinds of things, right? How many of us are doing that? Are you really asking or putting it out there to your close network that you have something to offer, and using that terminology? I'm going to say it one more time. It may not be you, but who do you know? Very powerful, really powerful. So, okay, Lisa, you join. Now,
I just want to add something in real quick before you ask that question, before I lose this train of thought.
Yeah.
So the reason why this was so successful, isn't just that my then sponsor left a sample with a card. It was really about Tamara, who still is not in network marketing and never will be. It's okay. She was focused on service. She was focused on service to me, to her friend who had a need that she saw, and she saw a potential way to fill it. She gained nothing other than
helping you.
Right.
Right.
And so I want everybody to think about reframing their mindset to be focused on service. So when you're offering your opportunity or your product, and your mindset is where you're completely focused on filling a need of somebody, that you know of their need and you see a way to fill it. And if the person takes you up on it, then wonderful. And if they don't, that's okay too. Because you never know, where the ripple of your action is going to end. It's like your reach out, your conversation, your communication, your attempt to fill a need for somebody is like throwing a stone into a pond. You see the first few ripples, but after that, the ripple still goes, but you can't see it. And it lands somewhere. Does that resonate with you?
No, I love the way you describe that, because you and I actually had a conversation just a day or two ago about planting seeds. And sometimes we think, I mean, guys, this is so like, Lisa and I have both recruited hundreds of people in network marketing, both of us. But the thing I find so refreshing about this is, don't think for a minute that I didn't have all the problems you've had, the challenges to overcome, and that they don't still come up now and again if I'm not real fresh and current, right? I mean, we have to sometimes get reminded. But the one piece, Lisa, that you and I were chatting about is you're planting seeds all the time, every day. That's like Lisa's analogy of throwing it into the pond. You're putting the rock in the pond every single day, but you don't know where that rock is going to land. You can't see it. And that is the same thing with what you're doing. If you can consistently, and I'm going to go back to the logic side here, have a goal to serve people. Notice how Lisa said she came from a place of service, from caring for her friend. And this is really, truly, when people get recruiting, they get that they're not doing it to them. They're actually offering a solution for them, which is exactly what Tamara did for Lisa. So that's the mentality that Lisa was also describing. And what you plant today doesn't always grow to full fruition today. And sometimes it takes a while to germinate. Some of this stuff, Lisa, don't you think, like, you look back, and you've been in the industry 5 years, I've been in the industry for, over 20, and I will still find things will come to me years down the road, or months or weeks, that I never, followed up on even. I mean, it just kind of, sometimes it's like, wow, that actually, there's a need there now where maybe there wasn't before.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I want to ask you now some specifics really about, right now, you're obviously with a network marketing company, and you've had a lot of success, serving others and providing others with a solution for either extra money, community, maybe they want to earn trips. I mean, there's all kinds of things. And I even have some really great stats that somebody shared with me yesterday that shows that people are really, 30% of the population needs just an extra $100 to $500 a month to feel really comfortable, to feel better, 30%. And they're looking to side hustles and second streams and third streams and fourth streams of income to do it. So, Lisa, I know that you have a consistent, Facebook page. I mean, you're posting daily and you're really working your business. But if you were going to give the listeners here, the viewers here, some tips on what they could do, why it's important, and then just how to do it. What would you say?
So with regard to recruiting, I think the most important thing that you need to remember is that you can use social media to reach thousands of people around the globe. And while it may feel uncomfortable at first, if you're not posting daily, if you feel like, oh my God, I'm being too salesy, I'm being too spammy, I don't want to post every day, I'm going to be the same thing, it's the same message over and over again. Well, does Target change their message every time they post an ad, like through television? Like when you see a commercial, no, it's the same messaging over and over and over and over again. And so when people talk about, I feel like I'm all over the place, but it's very trendy now to say to develop your brand. Develop your brand. Your brand is nothing more than who you are, what makes you you. It's your personality. It's what makes your friends interested in hanging out with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you know yourself and you're confident in yourself, you're going to be able to construct your social media posts that's true to you and true to your nature, and it's that vulnerability in your posting. It's that vulnerability in showing your personality, the personality that sits on the couch with in her pajamas with a glass of wine and no bra on. It's that person that needs to show up on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So that
because they're looking for real people. It's like today I said to you right before we got on, I have no makeup. I threw on a little lip gloss. Here I am. Right? Like this is kind of the way I do it. At least I'm clean today, right? My hair's washed.
it's really pretty.
Yeah, I mean, people really want to know the real person, right? I mean, we can all look like made up and good, but oftentimes, wouldn't you say it's true that sometimes we can almost look unapproachable to people? Like, wow, that gal's got it so together, in her high heels and, the perfect makeup and all that we all prejudge, can't help it. But you look and you go, I don't think I could ever do what she could do, versus the gal on the couch having a glass of wine or her iced tea or whatever she does with no bra on or no makeup. It's like, well, I can do that because we all have, right?
Because you're relatable and
Yeah.
you're not intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
And people can see themselves doing what you're doing. If you are showing only your highlight reel where everything is perfect, your marriage is perfect, your kids are perfect, your makeup is perfect, your hair is perfect, your car is perfect, who's going to want to join you?
Right.
Like
let alone come over to your house, because what if I got something on your stuff, right? So, okay, take us though through, let's just maybe go through what you do on a daily basis. So how do you stay consistent with reach outs and follow-ups? That would be a really good something to share.
Sure. I stay consistent because how I stay consistent is that I've made a decision to be consistent. Mm-hmm. And rely on the discipline of that decision rather than whether or not I feel like it, or if I'm in a good mood, or if I'm motivated to do it. So the very first thing I will do is I will post on social media, right?
So first thing you do in the morning is you make a post of some sort.
Well, first thing I do is I wake up and I name 5 things that I'm grateful for.
Oh, that's right. You do that. Good. I love it.
And I set my intention for the day, how I'm going to show up for myself, for my business, for my family, for my life. Then I get my phone. Then I go get my coffee. And I post on social media. And I also am very consistent with making sure that I interact. And so if you have a hard time, if you are like me with undiagnosed ADD and you're like squirrel, set a timer. Set a timer for yourself for 10 minutes, or take your phone into the bathroom every single time you pee before you go into the bathroom.
I get it. Yeah.
With your timer. And don't pretend that you don't take your phone in the bathroom, because we all do. So you might as well multitask. So while you're going to the bathroom, get on social media and engage with your network in a genuine way. Like,
Yeah.
you really like her shoes?
Right. Right.
And comment and engage, because then you're top of mind, right? And you're also building genuine, real relationships over this insane thing where we can connect with people in seconds all around the globe. Like, how is that possible?
So, Lisa, one of the things you said, so post, you take your phone, go to the bathroom, 10 minutes. I love that, because you're right. Many people do it. I know I've done that many a times. But the other thing you said that I think we don't oftentimes share enough. So we can give people a step 1, step 2, step 3, and we have those. And there is a methodology to recruiting, I firmly believe. However, you just said something that most people don't do is, or they don't do it consistently enough, is they go make a post, and then the next thing we know, they'll go, Joan, I'm only getting a few people answering my posts. And the very next question that a good coach would say, so all of you taking notes, you're good coaches, write this down. How are you interacting? How are you giving back to your community with genuine responses? Right? So, okay, Lisa, you post and then you're interacting. So now give me the next kind of phase. What about then?
Okay, so, and that's what people are talking about. I'm sure we've all heard that term, post and ghost. Like, don't post and then never go back to that post. Make sure that you interact. And if you have to, just grab a journal, and at the end of the day, just kind of jot down who you need to get in touch with, or just go back onto that post and follow up and engage with your network. So once you're engaging with your network, and you're top of mind, you've got to open your mouth and invite people to learn more about your product and your business opportunity. And so are you interested in hearing that piece of it?
So, okay, I love this. So you're interacting, you're engaging with them, and you're also devouring your post. I mean, if we really get down to it, you're really kind of eating that post up, meaning you're not just posting and, like Lisa said, ghosting. You're going back and you're bringing comments to the post, and you're liking and loving and going out and doing different things to keep the post up top. But then what you're talking about now is, and I want you just to go ahead and go there, because this is really, really important right here. So
this is the key. This is the key. You can just simply reach out to, let's say Joan comments on my post, okay? I will message her, and it doesn't matter whether it's through Facebook or Instagram or a phone call. God forbid we pick up the phone and make an actual phone call, or a text message, whatever. And just say, hey, Joan, thanks for commenting on my post. I really appreciate it. How are you?
Right. Okay.
Oh, you're good? Great to hear. I'm good too. I can't believe the summer's already here. Listen, you may have seen that I just joined this new company. Have you heard of them? Tried their products? No? I'd love to be the person that introduces you to them.
Love it. Lisa, how many messages like that are you sending in a given day? Approximate, just about.
10.
Okay.
So
but this is a starting point for some of those people that are really in fear. And guys, we've all been there. I've been there to a point of making myself sick. Not lately, but in the beginning, I had that real angst. So you're making approximately 10 posts a day, having a little bit of an interaction. Oh, go ahead. Not posts. I meant messaging. Sorry.
Yeah. Sometimes, depending on what's going on in the news, I might make 10 posts a day.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're messaging. And then at that point of saying, I'd love to be the person to introduce you to this, what's next?
Well, in my particular system, I don't know if everybody here is in the same company that I am, but I will add them to some Facebook groups. If you don't have the add tag message thing, or you're not participating in that, I will send them a video. I'll drop them a link to my website. I'll tell them what I'm using, what I'm finding success with.
Yeah. So you're really introducing them to your company, your products. Now, where does the recruiting piece come in? Because I think this is often a question too. People will say to me, well, Joan, you often lead with the business. And then other people say, but this person leads with the product. Now, here's what I would say. I lead with the business when I know somebody would be interested in the business because maybe I know them a little bit. But I lead with the product when I'm more unsure of who they are or what they are.
Right.
Now, Lisa, how do you do that?
So there's really no wrong way, you guys. I want everybody to just take a deep breath and relax about this whole controversy about should I lead with the product or should I lead with the business? Lead with what's going to get you into action. So just lead with whatever you're going to do. But so if you lead with the product, don't forget to offer the business. If you can sell your product, you can sell your business opportunity. I'm going to say that again. If you can sell your business opportunity is a product available for you to sell and help somebody change their life potentially, right? So if you lead with the product, don't forget to say, you know what? Are you open to hearing more about what it is that I do with the company?
Pause right there. Those of you with pens and papers, these are such huge, huge nuggets, gold nuggets. So write this down. You're at the end and they've just given you the sale, or maybe you've given them a link. I don't know how you do it, but it has to be said. Gosh, one last question. Have you ever thought about doing what I do, or what Lisa just said specifically? Gosh, one last question. Are you open to hear more about what I do? I think you said it, something like that. But the point is, it's so small, and most people will leave it out because they're already in fear that they're going to be too pushy. But Lisa just made a comment that I can't agree more with. And I know I'm going on a bit, but I want to make sure I say this. Most people will say to me, Joan, I can sell the product really well, but I just don't seem to recruit. And that's a whole nother conversation, because probably they haven't put focus on the activity or those benefits of the business, right? They're leaving it out. But to your point, Lisa, this is a beginning thing where if you committed to doing it with everybody that you sold the product to, right? You would then have more people in front of you that would be giving you some feedback. So, what would you say to somebody, and we'll wrap up on this today. And I first want to say there were so many good things here. I mean, Lisa talked about posting. She talked about doing, scheduled time. Maybe it's 10 minutes. Maybe you're going to the bathroom. Maybe you're sitting in your favorite chair having a cup of coffee, but you're interacting and engaging with your post, and probably with, people that you've been in contact with, because it goes beyond the post too. There's stories, there's reels and all that. But then your conversations have to end up offering the business. So Lisa, if you were going to give somebody, like, here's my best tip for recruiting, what would you say?
My best tip for recruiting is to get out of your own way and offer an invitation for somebody to learn more about what it is you do. And if you don't, what you're doing is you're keeping a blessing a secret, which is not fair to other people.
Mm-hmm.
If you offer only the product because you're too shy, or you're self-conscious, or you're nervous or scared to invite somebody, to learn more, you're being really self-absorbed in your own fear.
Because
And
all in your own head, all about you. In other words, you're thinking about your fears instead of how can I help you? That really is what it comes down to. And
just
so,
understand that. So my best tip, I guess, is to just understand that and remember that this isn't about you.
yeah.
It's just not about you.
And you use the verbiage invitation and offer. And I have to say, gosh, I've worked with you really closely for the past few months, but I use the same verbiage. I've always said, I want to offer you an opportunity to take a closer look. I want to invite you. And I do believe wholeheartedly that some of my own flip the switch moments where I came out of the all about Joan's fears, like what they were going to think. I don't know. I didn't have the right words. And I had to recall in the fear did not have me in action for service. In other words, if my fear was too great, then I'm all self-consumed. But if I could go, yeah, I feel the fear, but I'm going to focus on serving, that is the flip the switch moment for me when I started authentically drawing people into the business. So, all right, Lisa, I just want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate all of gosh, these are amazing tips. And I do have to say, guys, Lisa was the number 3 recruiter in a very, very large team and in one of the top companies in all of network marketing. She recruits worldwide and has built an incredible global brand. And I just love working with you, Lisa. And thank you so much for giving us your time today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week on Wednesday for Mindset Minutes. Have a fabulous day. Bye-bye.